What's up, KGS Headmaster here, and welcome to Wacky Wednesday on this week's theme of Sherlock Holmes. Let's kick off with a few shout-outs. Congratulations to Fraser in the first year, who has achieved not his gold, not his platinum, but his diamond commendation award. Fraser, huge congratulations, amazing. Totally off the scale, off the chart. I don't know where we go from diamond, but many congratulations to you. Probably where we go is having to reinvent the numbers to make it harder to achieve, particularly for you next year. You've done wonderfully well this year, so really well done. Obviously, accommodation certificate, cookie vouchers, and all kinds of things coming your way, but really well done. Big shout out to you. Lots of birthdays today. Who we got? We got Isabel in the second year. We've got Imogen in the fourth year. Many happy returns to Imogen. And in the lower six, just check I've got these two right. I've got Harry and Maya. So Harry and Maya, congratulations to you two on your birthdays. So no big 18s or even 16s today, but still four very special birthdays indeed. Isabel, Maya, Harry, and of course Imogen. So I hope you have a great day with the family, touching base with friends, and as ever, it's your birthday, so I hope it brings everything that your hearts desire. I hope you have a great day, guys. So many happy returns to you all. Wacky Wednesday, Sherlock Holmes, where do we go with this? Got a few ideas, might go in a few different directions. Films I didn't mention on Movie Monday because they were awful. And so, therefore, in my mind, wacky in another way. I mean, maybe some people like this. I'm a big fan of Will Ferrell and John C. Reilly. I think the great comedians, American comedians, obviously they do great work. But their Holmes and Watson movie, it's worth a watch just to see how bad it is. Maybe it was when I watched it or what I was expecting, but wacky doesn't begin to describe it. It's just awful. So sorry, guys. Rotten Tomatoes from me, big. So what else have we got? Without a Clue, Michael Caine brought in to play a foil to a John Watson who was the real kind of thing. Again, not terribly good. So Michael Caine, brilliant British actor, but with the film Without a Clue. Larry the Cucumber played not Sherlock, but Sheer Luck. That's probably the weirdest interpretation we've ever had. Who else we got? Now, the one I like amongst all these, I think is a bit wacky. Following the success of Romeo and Juliet, we had Sherlock Gnomes, voiced by Johnny Depp. Now, I think that's actually quite good, kind of saving it up today, because I think it's a far better cartoon version than Basil the Great Mouse Detective. So if you get a chance to watch Sherlock Gnomes, have a look at that. I said great Johnny Depp voicing the character there. Obviously, it was Wacky Wednesday, based on a book, as I've always said, by Dr. Zeus. So let's have some books. Favourite books? I think my favourite story, and it's lots of people, is The Speckled Band. It's one of those kind of closed room mysteries. So the room's closed, something happens. How does it happen? Working it out. It's fantastic. In fact, I think it was one of Arthur Conan Doyle's favourite tales. But I think my favourite stories are The Sign of Four. Absolutely superb tale and a kind of a short novella. But I think your way in, if you've never read Sherlock Holmes before, or if you have and you haven't read this, it was interpreted as a study in pink for the TV series. The original book, A Study in Scarlet. Not popular when it came out. It appeared in Beaton's Christmas Annual, kind of those serialised forms, trying to kind of get people interested in reading. Wasn't popular at all, but actually it's a brilliant book. It's a great introduction to Holmes. It's how Holmes and Watson meet. It's absolutely fantastic. I think it's got to be many people, certainly it's mine. It's my number one Sherlock Holmes story by Arthur Conan Doyle. Where else can we get? Here's some strange things. So firstly, he wasn't popular when he started. We've mentioned that. Secondly, he wasn't originally called Sherlock Holmes. Before the books were published, Arthur Conan Doyle wanted to call him Sherrington. Had other names for John Watson and other characters as well. But Sherrington Holmes, it wasn't even Sherrington Holmes actually. Just wouldn't have worked, right? Sherlock, it is. So Sherrington. He is the most popular human film character ever. I say that because Dracula is actually the most popular film character ever. I think he's appeared in something like 236 different movies, whereas Sherlock Holmes has been the subject of, or starred in, or been referenced in 229. So he is the most popular human, despite being fictional character. 221B doesn't exist. For a long time, it was part of the Abbey National Building on Baker Street, and they used to get the post for Sherlock Holmes, the kind of fan mail, and they wouldn't give up the address despite this. They actually had somebody assigned to deal with the fan mail and pass it to the museum when that opened in 1990, I think, actually, the museum. I think the Abbey National moved in 2005, which kind of resolved the problem because they wouldn't give up the address. They said, that's part of our building. So they got all the fan mail and they had to pass it to the museum. The museum actually, which calls itself 221B and has a blue plaque, is not 221B. It's 239. Well, it's actually between 237 and 241. You can tell this is someone that's been there. The museum's great though. It's really worth a look if when lockdown ends. For those of you that are interested in Sherlock Holmes and all things literary and fantastical and fictional. But it is on Baker Street, whereas the filming for the TV series, the one we know with Benedict Cumberbatch, Martin Freeman, that's actually on North Gower Street. And you can actually go and have breakfast, lunch, dinner, again, when lockdown ends, in Speedy's Cafe, which is filmed sitting below it, the awning right there. So you'll recognise it straight away. It's just around the corner from Euston Station. So 221B doesn't really exist, or it kind of does, but as a museum, but it's not 221B, and the film is completely somewhere else. What else have we got? Sherlock Holmes. Now, average person has an IQ of about 100, 110. Einstein had an IQ of 160. Einstein. Arthur Conan Doyle claims that Sherlock Holmes' IQ was 190. He did say in one of his stories, he said, look, I am a brain and the rest of my body is simply an appendix. So quite interesting. He didn't mean an appendix as in appendix. He means as an appendage kind of thing to kind of host the brain. So kind of, 190. Wow. He is genuinely an honorary fellow of the Royal Society of Chemistry. So as a fictional character, he's an honorary fellow of a real society. If you want to listen to Stephen Fry reading the stories of Sherlock Holmes, and he does it brilliantly, I've mentioned this, I think, before, and worth the introduction alone, but the entire reading of all the stories and all the books, and it's just the Sherlock Holmes stories, none of Arthur Conan Doyle's other works, takes just under 63 hours. Now, I've done that over a period of time. Didn't just sit down for 5 days and listen to it straight. Worth it, enjoyable, but wow, that's quite a body of work. What else are the facts we've got? Well, let's do some. There's lots of kind of great quotes. He never says elementary, my dear Watson. He says elementary, and he says my dear Watson, but they're separate and never together. In the books, he's never described as wearing a deerstalker hat. In fact, that's the guy who was brought in to do some of the drawings for the books, put him in a deerstalker hat, because in one of his stories, he's described as having a hat with ear flaps. And so that's what he does. And that obviously took on its own kind of mantle of being the Sherlock Holmes, the pipe, the deerstalker that we've seen in so many images. But of all the famous quotations, I think the one that's my favourite, because it's the biggest backhanded compliment of all time from Holmes to Watson, is this. He says, "You have a grand gift for silence, Watson. It makes you quite invaluable as a companion." The idea that the best attribute of any companion is that they just remain quiet is only something that Sherlock Holmes could probably get away with saying and be admired for, because, of course, Watson did admire Sherlock Holmes. So, hope you've enjoyed Wacky Wednesday. Hope you have a great day. Congratulations and happy birthday to everybody I've mentioned. Keep looking after yourself, looking after your friends, looking after your fam. Have a great day, everybody, and I'll see you all soon. Headmaster out.